Did Bomb1st's Tupac house of narratives lead to its collapse? Or was it the financial mismanagement? Either way, we got to discuss this because they threw so much shade at other people. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into some of this straight game.
Blackjack. Life is like some cards. It's not what you dealt, but how you play it. Play each situation correctly. I remember they used to laugh at a brother.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. It's your boy Delray Richardson, platinum artist, platinum songwriter, Straight Game TV. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Do me a favor, click on the thumbs up button. Also subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And like I always say, if you want to be one of the first people notified when I drop some of the straight game, please do me a favor and click on what appears to be that little bell notification right below this video. I'm going to get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, the question that has been going around the internet and that people have hit me up in my DMs and on YouTube basically was did Bomb1st's Tupac house of narratives, Suge Knight, all of the other narratives that they tried to use lead to its collapse, or was it financial mismanagement? As we know, some businesses die from the outside, right? Some collapse from the inside. And some fall apart because the story they sold, right? What they were trying to sell couldn't survive the truth. And so, when I ask that question, I ask it sincerely because Bomb1st was out here attacking people, coming up with salacious lies as stories would hit the headlines and things of that nature. They would try to come with some kind of narrative that they thought would sell for the moment, in which they weren't truly honestly thinking about the long-term effect of what they were doing. So that's the question. And then after we found out earlier this year that they filed for bankruptcy, a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, it was apparent and clear that there was some kind of financial mismanagement or some kind of in-house disagreement. But mainly, I think when I look back, the credibility factor, ladies and gentlemen, right? So like I said, once again, what's up, everybody? Your boy Delray, platinum songwriter, platinum artist, Straight Game TV. This over here, like I said, Straight Game, we don't deal with chasing rumors. We analyze the timelines, the paperwork, and the patterns, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we do, right? Today we're tackling a real question. Did Bomb1st's Tupac house of narratives contribute to its downfall, or was it straight financial mismanagement? No slander, no emotions, just logic, ladies and gentlemen. For years, ladies and gentlemen, Bomb1st positioned itself as a major Tupac platform, claiming proximity to legacy, access, and history through the way of Reggie the Rat Wright Jr., right? And said, but at the same time, or should I say at the same point and time, right? The business side collapsed, as we found out earlier this year, if you will. Now the internet has been asking. Like I said, I get DMs. People hit me up on Facebook, YouTube, and various other platforms asking me, what about, what's going on with Bomb1st? And I really don't know, but I had to do a little bit of an investigation to see. And so with that being said, I've seen that they've been just playing old videos and things of that nature. And that would lead me to believe that's because of the bankruptcy situation in regards to being Chapter 7, if you will. So more importantly, now, like I said, the internet has been asking, was it because of false narratives, or the false narratives catching up, all of the stories they were telling, Suge Knight speaking out, myself, I would say Choke No Joke, and other platforms speaking out up against the lies that were blatantly told for years, right? Or was it simply just money problems or the financial mismanagement of money, not paying taxes, not handling one's business like the business is supposed to be handled, but yet all at the same time speaking about other people's financial situations in which they really didn't know about. It's like the pot calling the kettle black when you find out that the other pot is actually burning and becoming rusted and worn out, if you will, from that perspective. Like I said, so the financial reality, is this. Here's a fact in business. Most companies don't fail because of critics. So despite, me giving you straight game and other platforms really looking at what they were saying and picking it apart, and speaking of Bomb1st, right? Most companies don't fail from the critics. They fail because of what? Number one, poor cash flow and management, overextending operating costs, declining revenue, bad investments, digital relevance fading, right? Or failure to evolve. One must evolve in this game in dealing with these podcasts and things of that nature. Like I said, once again, no blog, YouTube channel, or expose can bankrupt a company itself, right? Only bad business decisions can. And so what that leads me to is, despite talking about everybody else's business, as Bomb1st was doing at one time, in fact, their own in-house business was being mismanaged. That's what it basically says, because men and women lie, but numbers don't, right? Either you handling your business or you're not. And that's the point blank period when we sit down and we talk about it, right? Like I said, and then you deal with the narrative credibility, right? Versus business impact. So this YouTube, these podcasting, it's about credibility. So, and then when you lose credibility, it also affects your business, because people stop watching, they stop believing you, they unsubscribe, and all of the other things that happen, right? So like I said, so this is the other layer, right? When your entire brand is built on storytelling, your credibility is part of your currency. So if you don't have no credibility, then it's going to affect your currency, because those two things run hand in hand. If your audience starts questioning your stories and your narratives, or they're hearing other alternative information from other places and with proof and facts, right? When they start doing that, your trust declines. The people's trust in you and what you're saying basically declines, right? Engagement drops. So, the engagement that people started, the engagement, support starts to fade, and then the revenue dries up once again, or just poor mismanagement, outright, bad spending and all of the other things that go along with that. And once that trust breaks, so does the business model, or the lack thereof having a business model. It could be, either or, right? So like I said, once again, when you look at that, because I remember when I first came on to YouTube, I remember Reggie the Rap Right Jr. saying that, that I wouldn't be here long because J Mix and all of these other people that he had allegedly, I guess crushed their channel, ran them off of YouTube or whatever it was, right? I remember he saying that about me. And so I asked this question intelligently and informatively, discussed this topic, from that perspective, right? So the insight, right? I'm not here to to accuse or I'm not here to ask, or should I say I'm here basically to ask real questions. I'm not here to accuse anybody of anything, right? Just to ask real questions about the situation. Because at one time, like I said, whether it be the Diddy story, Jamie Foxx story when he was, going through his health problems, Bomb first alleged that Diddy had something to do with it, and all of these other things. Jamie Foxx went out and did his comedy special, debunked that. So basically, this is what I'm talking about credibility. They were saying things about stuff that they knew nothing about, just so that people could watch and view. That's a short-term way of thinking. You know what I mean? One must think long-term if you want to truly, honestly be successful. Whether it's investing your money, whether it's doing all of these other things that one should be doing, right? And like I said, when your platform is built around Tupac's legacy and people begin challenging your accuracy, does your business survive? That's the question, right? Their whole, as you can see, even the name of their platform was named after a Tupac song. So that goes to show you how much creativity that they actually put into what they were doing when they thought about coming to YouTube, right? Tupac's first a song off of Machiavelli was what? Bomb First. And so therefore, you can see right there what the intentions were. The intentions were to capitalize off of what Tupac was doing. Like I said, a gullible John never met Tupac Shakur, right? He didn't know him. So, like I said, once again, that part right there was a bit disingenuous when someone comes along and tries to do that, if you will, right? So, like I said, when your platform is built around Tupac legacy and people begin challenging your accuracy, does it affect your business? Or better yet, does your business survive, right? Or does it get exposed to its real foundation, right? Did Bomb first get exposed to its real foundation after people found out that their credibility wasn't on point? You can lie for so long and play so many games before the truth is revealed, and the truth is just what it is. You know what I mean? Doesn't need an alibi, doesn't need nobody to vouch for it. It simply is what it is, right? So like I said, I'm gonna ask the question again. I'm gonna ask it again. So when your business, right, is based on Tupac's legacy and people begin to challenge your accuracy, does your business survive or does it get exposed to its real foundation? Was it strong or was it built on fragile narratives? And to me, this is what it's been exposed through an observation and actually looking at what actually happened with a Bomb First, right? So, like I said, I'm just going to ask y'all straight up, you know what I mean? Straight up and down. Do you believe Bomb First's downfall came from outsiders exposing problems or from internal financial mismanagement that would have happened anyway? So it didn't matter, the nerve. So do you believe, right? Like I said, once again, do you believe that Bomb First's downfall came from outsiders exposing their narratives or from internal financial mismanagement that would have happened anyway, right? Drop your thoughts below, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, this is not about hate, just about intelligent conversation. Because when, like they said, when you living in a glass house, one must not throw stones. You know what I mean? One must move accordingly, handling one's business, paying one's taxes, paying one's bills, and doing what is supposed to be done like any responsible businessman is supposed to do it. So like I said, and more importantly, over here, Straight Gang, ladies and gentlemen, we debate ideas, not people. We don't have to debate anybody. We're debating the idea and not people. Your boy Delray, Straight Gang.
Life is like some cards. It's not what you dealt, but how you play it. Play each situation correctly. I remember they used to laugh at a brother